Hey guys, my name is Augustas. Right now I'm 19 years old, but as they said, I cycled the sea when I was 18. I'm not that different from you guys. I go to Kauno Saulės Gymnasium, right across the street. I walk the same streets as you do. I sit in similar classrooms, and I wait for the same devastating bell. So when I say I've been bored, I mean really bored. I think you guys know what I mean. But I have some good news for you. I've always found one cure for this: a good challenge. For example, this winter I won the Lithuanian Youth Bouldering Championship. Last winter I managed to stay for 10 whole minutes in an ice-covered lake. And once, when I was 16, I trained for 100 days just to do 200 push-ups in one go. I broke the school's record, by the way. Congrats on me. And they don't quite compare to this one message I got from my friend, Ugnius. He texted, "Let's cycle around the entire Baltic Sea." It sounded surreal, but I said, sure. If you can avoid doing a trip like this, don't do it. But I did it because I couldn't say no. And because I like challenges. And because Ugnius had already planned it all out. Sometimes the worst ideas are the best stories waiting to happen. But the thing is, we had no real backup. I mean, I was still in school. Even my mom tried her best to talk me out of doing it. I had no money, no hotels, just our tent. Actually, I didn't even get to sleep in the tent the very first night. That was because of a small miscommunication. Ugnius had brought his girlfriend for the first 2 days, and I ended up sleeping on a wooden table in a gazebo, swatting away mosquitoes, wondering, is this what an epic adventure feels like? I barely slept, but still, the answer stands strong. Yes. The trip lasted 38 days, no rest days, of course. And we had to save some spare time because I had school in September. And we averaged 140 kilometers a day, once even hitting 180. The very first hour of our trip, Ugnius' bike started to fall apart. His chain got jammed in cement, and a part of the chain just broke. And we had to FaceTime our mutual friend, the one who bailed last minute. He told us he would cycle around the sea together, but a week before we left, he spontaneously decided that he would not. How is that acceptable? But never mind. We FaceTimed him, and he helped us fix things on the fly. And this made us wonder, is this how the entire trip is going to last? Yeah, kind of. In Finland, the first night, an app lied to us by a shelter by a lake, and we ended up stuck in muddy beetroot fields with our chains jammed by weeds and mud, our legs aching and completely exhausted. It was in the middle of the night, and we spent the night in private domicile, 200 meters away from a guard post, illegally, with surveillance cameras on us. Thank God we didn't get kicked out. But this doesn't end here. In Finland, no, in Sweden now, I once showered at a cemetery. To be fair, that was one of my best showers. And when we couldn't wash in lakes, when it wasn't accessible, we would disinfect ourselves with bonfire fumes. It got rid of the smell, so I'm not complaining. In Denmark, we hated Denmark. I wish Denmark became a highway. It shouldn't be a country. the headwinds were so strong, we barely averaged 15 kilometers an hour. And keep in mind, we still had to do 260 kilometers, 2 days. So we spent like 11 hours on the bike every day in Denmark. And in Poland, drivers would intentionally cross the center line, going from the opposite lane, just to scare us off the roads. We almost died. but it doesn't matter, because it was fun, after all, right? It's worth it. And I once had not showered for a whole week, and some Polish drunkard really wanted to make friends with me. He came up to me and wished to shake my hands. But I was concerned for his health and his well-being. I thought he would catch some disease from my dirty hands. That was our condition, so. And I once or twice literally shouted at cows just for stimulation, because I was that bored. See, my biggest challenge wasn't physical. It was mental. It was boredom. Hours and hours of just pedaling through rain, through wind, through rain, through mud, through silence. It kind of gets to you. But after the boredom comes stillness. And after stillness comes something like clarity. And riding somewhere up north, I suddenly felt this overwhelming wave of peace, as though I was held by something divine. I found God. Don't get me wrong, I'm not praying, I'm not that religious, but still, I feel loved. And that is thanks to this trip. But let me be honest, my trip did not start when I left my home. It started way before that. You don't prepare for a voyage like this with big declarations. You prepare by biking to school every day, day after day, and then biking back. So one day prepares you for the next. I know it's boring, but slowly and eventually you realize you're not preparing anymore. You're already living your dream. So if there is something big you want to accomplish, start small. Start boring. And then there's friendship. Ugnius, the one who invited me. We were already close friends for many years. But this voyage, it turned us into brothers. And we used to go climbing together. Right now he's in Portugal, that's why he's not talking with me. And he used to pick me up after school to go on our weekly cold water dips. And once I looked at him and said, let's stay in for 10 more minutes. He called me insane, but we did it. And on the road, we kept pushing each other all the more. Because without each other, we could not have done this. At first, I was posting Instagram stories. I thought of myself as though I was some big celebrity, a rock star even. I even posted an Instagram story the first morning saying that if you want to speak with me after my trip, you must send me money. It worked, actually. That's how I paid for the trip. And yeah, I suddenly stopped posting. Not because I didn't care, but because I realized the real stuff couldn't be quite captured. It was too alive. It was worth living in the moment. And when we returned, we were met like champions. Because people could see it in our eyes that we have lived through something real. Now, this TEDx theme is, I am a cage in search of a bird. And it kind of stuck with me. See, most people are always chasing something. It doesn't matter if it's money, a high, love, purpose, grades. The moment you feel as though you've caught it, it slips away. And so, you keep chasing it. But I say, the goal isn't to catch the bird at all. It's to open the cage and step out and do something. Because when you do, you'll find what I found. Polish drunkards, cows, a voyage, brotherhood, God, and a story worth telling. Thank you.